way to go. And, you know, when I do my snowshoeing presentations, I've often said, if you can walk, you can snowshoe. And the same thing's true about starting off with Nordic skiing. You're just shuffling your feet and you're moving along. And if it's flat, you're less likely to fall. And you just have scales on the bottom of your feet. And the skis that are in the middle there, I hope they're, let me see, I think my chat is blocking it. Yeah, the Evo skis by Rosignol are one of many kind of skis. And the Solomons, those are what are known as skinny skis, fairly narrow skis. And they have scales on the bottom that help you climb hills. And the basic rule of thumb is the steeper the slope, the deeper the snow, the wider the ski. So the skis on the right side of the screen are what we call fat skis, wide skis. And they can be either telemark skis, if you're a telemark skier, or they can be alpine touring skis. If you're currently a downhill skier and you want to take it into the backcountry, then the easiest transition is just to get yourself some alpine touring skis, lightweight boots, etc., some skins to put on the bottom of those skis for climbing, because they don't have the patterns on the bottom of the ski like the skinny skis do for climbing. Skinny skis, you can also put wax on the bottoms of some of them, and you can even get skins for them as well. And the skin technology, which allows you to climb straight up any kind of hill, has really gotten good, and that really helps a lot. If you're a downhill skier, get yourself some either alpine touring or some telemark skis, and you can go right into the backcountry and get started pretty quickly. And then it comes down to choosing trails and terrain that are safe and not too intimidating. The nice thing about, if you're brand new to skiing, the nice thing about Nordic areas is you usually have some relatively flat terrain to learn on. And we'll be talking about some of the terrain for beginners. Our book has about 25 trails for that are easy for beginners, for families, about 35 trails that are more what I'd call intermediate skiers, and then another 20, more than 20 that are for advanced or expert skiers. That includes 7 or 8 mountains that you can actually do some winter mountaineering on. There is a course for winter mountaineering from the mountain club, but it's full. And if you are going to be winter mountaineering, that's a whole different ballgame. You know, if you're going to just do skinny skis and do some of the easy to intermediate trails, you don't have to worry generally about avalanches, although our book has tips on what kind of ski you can use on the trail, what's the best kind of ski for that particular trail, what is the level of avalanche danger. Most of them have very little to moderate, and then some are more significant, and I'll let you know that. And then also, what is the level of effort? This is an example of an avalanche that took place above the Broom Hut on Birthand Pass. And I do have several great trails we have several great trails in our book, including the trail that goes up to the Broom Hut, known as Second Creek. If you don't go above the Broom Hut, there's virtually no avalanche danger. If you do go above the Broom Hut, you can see the avalanche danger. If you're going to do winter mountaineering,
Alan, you got muted real quick. Can you just unmute yourself, please? Sorry.
holy cow, I've been muted that whole time?
It was just for a second. You're back on now.
Okay. Anyway, so you did hear the other stuff that I said? Okay, anyway, I was just saying, if you're winter mountaineering, then take an avalanche awareness course, at least a one evening session. The Colorado Mountain Club has courses. They're usually 3 days. You get certified. You take a class, and then you go into the backcountry, dig some snow pits, find out what kind of terrain is safe. something that I like that as a general rule of thumb is what is the slope of the terrain. Most avalanches happen from about 25-degree slopes to 40-degree slopes. 25 or 30-degree slope is a blue if you go to a downhill area. And most of the terrain that I highlight is not above that danger zone, but some of it is. So if you have a slope meter, they're really inexpensive little items. I don't know how many of you can see me, but it just tells you what is the slope, degree of slope that you're on. I always suggest that you go on the website for the Colorado Avalanche Information Center. They have the best mountain weather forecast and avalanche conditions throughout the entire state, region by region. If avalanche danger is high, extreme, I stay home, or I go to a ski area like Eldora or Devil's Thumb where there's zero avalanche danger and I'm perfectly safe. If it's higher than that, if it's lower than that, still most of the trails in my book are pretty safe. The picture you're looking at is probably that's more like a 20-degree slope. The odds of avalanche danger on a slope of that type is not significant, but always check the CAIC website. There is a free app you can get for your phone and download the CAIC app and look at the conditions real easily every morning before you go out and see what's going on out there. I always recommend that people check out the trail they want to be on the day before, get all the local conditions, maybe if you're going to Rocky Mountain National Park and you are going into potential avalanche terrain like Hidden Valley Ski Area, the old Hidden Valley Ski Area, Flat Top Mountain, maybe you want to talk to the rangers and see if they've seen any avalanche activity. The other thing that's really essential is the 10 essentials. I mean, you all know what those are, but for winter, you want a fire starter. You want to have really good maps and especially a compass. You can see the ski tracks in this picture are really significant, hard to miss. You go out, you're skiing out away from the top of the trailhead, the bottom of the trailhead, and you think, gee, I'll easily find my way back. And then a storm hits, and all of a sudden it's a whiteout, and you don't know what direction your car is. That's why it's good to have a compass. Check your direction when you're leaving, and then know which direction you're going to have to go in to get back. So, and have some backup gear. Put a down jacket in there, dress in layers, have a thermos with some hot drink, tea, chocolate. You will need liquids. You're going to get dehydrated if you don't. A warm hat if it's a warm, sunny day. Don't think you can go without a hat. Make sure you have one in your pack. If it starts snowing, you got a wet head, you can get thermic. Make sure you have waterproof shell, waterproof pants, waterproof boots, waterproof gloves. I always like to take some hand warmers and some foot warmers along. They're especially good if you have little kids along or big kids. Why suffer? You can keep your hands and feet warm. Why have them be cold? The other thing that I think, if you're going to be winter mountaineering, if you're an advanced to expert skier or an advanced intermediate skier, and you want to go up there and ski steep slopes and you want to get off in the trees, you want to wear a helmet. A helmet is highly advisable if you're going to be skiing down steep slopes or into trees. And I can tell you from experience, even those skinny little branches don't give. You hit them, they're not going to move. You hit them with your head, it's not going to feel good. So protect your noggin, protect your brain, and have that safety equipment along. And if you're out there with, always go with a companion if you're mountaineering. You should each have an avalanche beacon. Make sure your beacons are working and are talking to each other. And if you're going to do a mountaintop, Kay Turnbaugh, my co-author, has great maps, all color maps in the book. They're really good. But I always like to have a real detailed topographical map for winter mountaineering. So anyway, basic rule of thumb, steeper and deeper, wider skis. And I think we can go on to the next page. And we're going to have a Facebook page that's the same title as the book. And, you know, with these fires are going to be a lot of these trails that, not a lot, but some of them will have burned. And we're going to go out and take a look and see what kind of shape they're in once we have our normal 3 or 4 feet on top of them. So that's an example of one of the great maps. Okay, let's start with some trails. Here we are in Rocky Mountain National Park, and that's Flat Top Mountain on the right and Hallett's Peak on the left. Flat Top is a great destination. Very limited avalanche danger, fairly low angle. If you want to do some repeats on that overlook you can see on the right side of the mountain, there is a good place you can get to in a couple of hours. Going for the summit, if you're going to do that at this time of the year, the days are short. You have to start at dawn. You might get back in the dark. Make sure you have a headlamp with you. Some of the best skiing is not on the way to the summit. A lot of the peaks in my book, and I have several, I have found over the years that you get about halfway up to the summit and there's no snow. It's so darn windy, part of the route gets blown free. Make sure you have a day pack that you can put your skis on and carry them over the dirt and the rocks if you encounter that. There's a good slope to this on the southeast side of Flat Top Mountain you can access from the Helene Lake Trail, and I describe how to get there in the book. Very relatively safe if you're on the south side of it, low angle slopes. You don't want to be on the right side of it because there is some avalanche danger. And just below Flat Top is Bear Lake, which is a fun thing for families. Okay, okay. Trail Ridge Road. Whoops, let's go back to Trail Ridge. Okay, Trail Ridge, this is former Colorado Mountain Club publisher Alan Stark. And you know, you can do some skinny ski touring on Trail Ridge Road. It's lovely to be up there with a great view of the Mummy Mountains in the winter without cars. If you keep going, you can get to the old Hidden Valley ski area, and there you would want to have either alpine touring or telemark skis, and you can ski some of the old ski runs. Check with the park about potential avalanche danger, check CAIC about avalanche conditions before skiing in Hidden Valley, but it isn't very avalanche prone, and it's a great place to ski. You can start up here where Alan and I were, is the many curves where the road closes, and you can just tour in the road and never go to the ski area. Sometimes part of the road blows off too because it gets pretty windy up there. The Hidden Valley ski area base now has a nice warming hut. It's heated and good restrooms, and you can start there, and they have a tubing area for families, and you can go up and do some of the slopes down there, even on skinny skis. Okay, next slide. Nymph Lake, Dream Lake, Emerald Lake. This is an intermediate level trail, and it's just gorgeous. You can get up to Nymph Lake if you're a beginner, and it gets a little more challenging the farther up you go. Make sure you get there early though, because it's very popular with snowshoers, and once it gets hard packed, it's a little more challenging, but spectacular views, no avalanche danger, a great part of the park, and it's right over by Bear Lake. And Bear Lake fills up now in the winter, the Bear Lake parking lots. You have to get there early if you're going to be there on a weekend. Next slide. Sprague Lake. This is not as far as Bear Lake, and it's a great place to take a family. Also Glacier Gorge Campground, which is also in the book. Sprague Lake is flat. It's between 1 mile and 2 miles. You go all the way around the lake on skinny skis. There's no avalanche danger, and it's very easy. You can't get lost, and you get great views to boot. If you get more adventuresome, you can head down to Glacier Gorge Campground and back, have a great, easy outing. Next one. This is the old Hidden Valley ski area, and this was taken in the springtime, and we drove up to the top of Trail Ridge where it crests at 12,000 feet. And then we traversed over to the top of the runs, and then we skied down toward the road. So we were kind of cheating and doing a car shuttle. But you can also just ski over to these slopes in the winter and skin up them. You know, you definitely want skins on your skis, and you definitely want wider skis because they're steep. And as I said, not generally avalanche prone. They're generally as steep as a blue run in a downhill ski area, and you can have great fun in the old Hidden Valley ski area. Next one. The Indian Peaks area, and this is a view from Beaver Reservoir. This is a little north of Netherland and north of Ward. Hopefully it won't get damaged by any of the fires. That's a spectacular view of the Continental Divide from the trailhead at Beaver Reservoir. You end up going into the trees and you head towards Coney Flats. It's gentle rolling terrain. It's beginner to intermediate, no avalanche danger, great views. And you end up, if you can go far enough, you can see St. Vrain Mountain and Meadow Mountain from the trail as you get into Coney Flats. Really a popular place in the winter. The trail gets broken pretty easily, so it's a fun place to go in and very difficult to get lost and no avalanche danger. And not as busy as Brainerd Lake. Okay, next one. The Sourdough Trailhead, one of my favorite trails. This is the south end of the Sourdough Trail off of Rainbow Lakes Road. And this is 9,000 feet. So it's not always as reliable in terms of snow early or late in the season. If you want more reliable snow in the Sourdough, go to Brainerd Lake and start from the north end, which is 10,000 feet. Either way, it's 7 miles one way. Beautiful rolling trail. It's so much fun in any kind of ski to go up a hill and down a hill and up a hill and down a hill. It's a real roller coaster. Go as far as you want and turn around. No avalanche danger. Intermediate level skills. Next one. Kay's going to tell you about the Brainerd Lake area and Brainerd Lake Road in particular. Kay. I can't hear you, Kay. Can other people? Are you unmuted? Okay, we can't hear Kay, so I'll keep talking. Brainerd Lake, great place for beginners. The road is about 2 miles from the lake, gentle rolling terrain, good for families. It's very dog friendly on the road. And so if you're going to bring your dog, make sure you keep them on leash and attach them to your belt or something. Don't let them chase moose. Sometimes dog chases moose, moose chases dog back to skier, moose stomps skier. In the background, there are other routes in the book that are more advanced. So you ski 2 miles to Brainerd around the lake, and then you can go to Blue Lake, you can go to Mitchell Lake, you can even go up on Mount Audubon. But if you want easy family outings, beginner terrain, stick to the road. You'll have plenty of company. You won't get lost. And it may be a little breezy though, so be prepared for wind. Next one. Left Hand Park Reservoir Road, one of my favorite routes. More wind sheltered, as you can see the trees. You can also get to Little Raven Trail off of this trail. Intermediate level skills, beginners can do it as well, but you will come down some steep sections. So I wouldn't do it unless you know how to really slow down and stop on those skinny skis. And that's one of the key skills you want to learn when you're learning how to ski is stopping. So, you know, traversing is something I always tell people, traverse, go across the fall line, across the slope and ski uphill. That's one great way to stop. And this road is usually wide enough to be able to do that. If you're new and you get freaked out, take off your skis and walk for a little while. Don't be afraid to walk some sections. But there you get some great views when you get up on top of the end of this road. And you also access Niwot Ridge and Niwot Mountain for you advanced to expert skiers. Next slide. You can do a great loop with the Little Raven Trail. If you do get up to the reservoir, this is the kind of view you get. And this is a view actually from Niwot Mountain. Niwot Mountain has some very safe terrain. It's a great low mountain to get on if it's not windy. If it's windy, forget about it. The top gets blown free of snow. You'll get blown to Longmont or Kansas unless you stay in the trees. Stay on Left Hand Park Reservoir Road and go up and take a look at Mount Toll on the right from there. And Mount Toll, at the bottom of Mount Toll is the Blue Lake, which is in the book. You can ski there. You can ski that slope of Mount Toll only in the spring after it's consolidated and only if you're an expert mountaineer. Okay, next one. And this actually was a view from the Metro Blue Lake Trail, my mistake. This is a view from the summit of Mount Audubon. Mount Audubon is a good winter destination if you have your vitamins. It's, you know, the approach is 2.5 miles just to get to the base of the trail. And then you don't have to go to the summit to get in some great skiing. The lower slopes that face east can be skied, and there are usually more snow deposited there than there are in the upper slopes. I've frequently had to take off my skis halfway up Audubon and walk across dirt to get to the summit, and then usually have better snow after that. So don't be discouraged if that happens to you. You can usually find some stashes of powder. This is winter mountaineering though. This means you need your avalanche beacon, your shovel, your probes, a companion, and have had some background in avalanches. Although Audubon is, you know, a mountain with most of the slopes are very low angle, and it's not known for a lot of avalanche activity. It's more known for wind and wind scouring and parts of the trail, but it's a beautiful place to go. Next one. Arapahoe Lakes Trail. So the way to get to this trailhead is over by the Moffett Tunnel. So you go to Rollinsville and then go west from there. And when you get to the tunnel, the railroad tunnel, the trails are on the north side. And there's a whole network of trails. There's a Forest Lakes Trail, which is easier than Arapahoe Lakes, but it's an advanced skier trail. The first mile goes up to a meadow, and that is low-level intermediate. There's really only one spot that a beginner would have trouble with. So you can go to the meadow, get in a 2-mile ski without having advanced skills. But to get to Arapahoe Lakes or Heart Lake or Forest Lakes, you need advanced ski skills, advanced intermediate. Arapahoe Lakes is an expert slope. It has steep terrain, and the skis are close together. So it's a tight tree ski. But if you have those kind of skills, it's a lot of fun for telemark or AT skiers. And some people go up in those slopes in the distance. I don't advise it. Most people don't go all the way down to Arapahoe Lakes because you got to go up and back down. You go up to this ridge and ski back down. Next one. Forest Lakes is easier, as is Heart Lake. Caribou Ranch open space, closed right now because of the fires. There's no fire in the area, but it's a great place to hike in the summer, great place to ski in the winter. Easy terrain, good beginner terrain, good family terrain. It's a 4-mile loop. There's the old ranch there where they actually filmed a version of the Stagecoach movie. And it's a really fun place to go, just a little north of Nederland. And snowshoers like it too. So if you don't want a hard packed trail, get there early, but it's nice to have them break trail for you as well. You need a good front range upslope storm though, because this is only 8,000 feet, same elevation as Nederland. So it's not good early in the season. Next one. Caribou Townsite, not to be confused with Caribou Ranch. Caribou Ranch is north of Nederland. Caribou Townsite is an old mining town that's now a ghost town. And you get up there on Caribou Road, which is a little bit, you start heading north out of Nederland, excuse me, and it's not very far north. You can do some skinny ski tours right at the beginning of the town site. As you can see, one of those people is Kay's husband, Bill Eichler, and you can do some nice loops on advanced beginner terrain. The slopes in the background are also in the book. Those are for AT, alpine touring and telemark skiers, and they're above the mine, above Anchor Mine. Great advanced terrain, limited avalanche danger in both places. The main challenge is the road. Frequently, the county doesn't plow it, so you need a good high clearance four-wheel drive vehicle to get there. And on weekends, it's become quite popular, just like the Mammoth Tunnel. Next one. East Portal, this is the trailhead for East Portal, and this young lady's headed up on the Heart Lake Trail. And you can see the first part of this trail, the first mile, is pretty mellow. And if you're an advanced beginner, you wouldn't have any problem with it. Next one. This is the Mammoth Gulch Road, which is before you get to the tunnel. That's a view of the Continental Divide above the Mammoth Tunnel, really spectacular. It gives you an idea of the kind of terrain you'll be skiing in once you go over there. But you can go up Mammoth Gulch Road, which is, I'd say, advanced beginner, low-level intermediate. It's just an out and back. It climbs relatively steeply. You get fantastic views and very few people. The only problem is parking is very limited, so you can only have a couple of cars there before the sheriff decides to ticket people. Next one. Okay, this is pretty close to the summit of James Peak. James Peak is both a good summer destination and a good winter destination. You access it off of I-70. You don't have to go very far in the ski traffic to access it at St. Mary's Glacier. And it is an advanced skills area. It's winter mountaineering. So you want to have the usual things I talked about, avalanche beacon, shovel, and probes. It's very popular. If it's not snowing, then it's really easy to do some route finding. That's the other thing I would say. If you're new to this sport and it's snowing like crazy, reconsider advanced terrain. It's better to do advanced terrain when you have a nice clear day and it's not likely to snow on you. But James Peak is not avalanche prone, and there's some great terrain up there. If you don't want to go all the way to the top of James Peak, you can go to the top of St. Mary's Glacier. That's actually more dangerous. There are parts of St. Mary's Glacier that avalanche on a regular basis. So be very careful what you do at St. Mary's Glacier. And there's a terrain between St. Mary's Glacier and James Peak. It's very gentle. Go next to Bancroft Peak, and there's no avalanche danger. Okay, next one. Jones Pass is just as you get to Birthand Pass, and it's a road in the summer. And this is a group of people in a avalanche class that I was with. And then this particular day, many years ago, we were heading to the site of an avalanche where somebody died. The slope on the right avalanched and buried 3 people. One of them died. They had no experience. They were way off trail. This is actually off trail. And even if you stay on trail at Jones Peak, there is some avalanche danger. So this is one I wouldn't do if there's any kind of avalanche hazard going on as far as the avalanche center is concerned. If there's not, if avalanche danger is low, it's a fun outing just below Birthand Pass. Next one. Birthand Pass, I have, this used to be a ski area, so there's some really good, relatively gentle terrain. You're going to have more fun if your skis are a little bit wider, although on the east side of the pass, you could get away with relatively skinny skis on the access road. But if you're gonna want to have fun on this kind of terrain, stay out of the avalanche danger. You still have a lot of fun. You're probably going to want to have alpine touring or telemark skis and intermediate level skills. So nice thing about Birthand Pass, it's 11,000 feet. It's usually the first place you can go skiing in the winter because they get a lot of good snow just before you get to Winter Park. So a lot of safe areas, but there is avalanche terrain, as you can see there on the left side of the picture. That part is not in my book. I'm encouraging you to use the wide open gentle trail in the center of the picture. Okay, next one. Devil's Thumb Ranch, one of my favorite places. I was on the ski patrol there for over 10 years. Every kind of imaginable terrain, flat terrain, easy terrain. And this picture is from an advanced expert slope looking across at Byers Peak over there in the Winter Park area. So if you haven't been there and you want to do some Nordic skiing on skinny skis, it's a real treat. The lodging's a little pricey. I think it's $200 and up, but they have good restaurants and you can just go there, and the skiing is not expensive. It's about $20 a day, a lot less expensive than a downhill pass, and they have good instructors there. If you've never skied before and you want to learn, it's some of the easier terrain to learn on because there's a lot of flat terrain. Next one. Near Winter Park and Granby and Tabernacle. This is over on Glenela Pass near Naylor Lake. So you go up on Glenela Pass, and instead of going up Bierstadt Peak, which is also in my book, you can do some gentle terrain over to Naylor Lake. And as long as you don't go beyond the lake, there's no avalanche terrain. And as you can see, there can be some good powder up there. Next one. This is the cirque above MLM Lake. This is up, unfortunately, in the area of the Cameron fire, up in the area of the Colorado State University summer campus. And I'll get up there this winter after we get a lot of snow and see how much damage the fire did to this trail. It's a spectacular trail with no avalanche danger. That's Comanche Peak on the left. And the trail is actually not in avalanche terrain, and a very nice outing. There are several trails up there in the Cameron Peak area. Cameron Peak is about an hour and a half west of Fort Collins. So if you go up there, you're going to want to rent a cabin or a yurt and take some time and really explore the area. And, check our Facebook page, because once we get into the ski season, I'll go up there and explore. I used to ski up there every week when I was on the Diamond Peak Ski Patrol and lived in Fort Collins. And it's a real treat, but we don't know what is going to happen in terms of these trails after some of them have burned. I know some of them have not been hit by the fire, so I'll give you an update on the Facebook page and the blog, CMC blog, to let you know what the status is of those trails. Okay, next one. Crown Point Road is in the Cameron Peak area, and I happen to know that this did burn, so I'll have to get an update on that and let you know how it is. If it's not severe damage, it's a real easy beginner's outing, and you don't have to go all the way up to the top of the pass. You can stop at Rustic, and not drive as far. Drive about an hour west of Fort Collins, and get in some really nice beginner gentle terrain on what is a summer road. Okay, next one. Next photo. Zimmerman Lake Trail. This is up near the top of Cameron Pass. Usually fantastic snow. As far as I know, this trail was not affected by the fire. And there's a yurt and also a cabin you can rent nearby from Never Summer Nordic. I have the information in my book. And it's fantastic powder up there and beautiful terrain with no avalanche danger. There are also a couple of peaks west of the summit. If you're a more advanced skier and you want to do some peak skiing, mountaineering, Seven Utes Peak and Mahler Mountain are also in the book. I don't have Diamond Peaks in because they are very avalanche prone and somebody dies on it on the Diamond Peaks about every year or two. Okay, next one. Montgomery Pass is just across the road from Zimmerman Lake. As you can see, beautiful bowl, relatively low angle, and a great place to ski. This is for advanced skiers because it's steep terrain and you know, it requires some good skills on AT or tele skis. Not good terrain for skinny skis. Okay, next one. And I say that in the book. So every trail has that information. Now the Never Summer Mountains are part of what burned from the Cameron fire. So I'll have to check on the status of Lake Agnes. There's a nice cabin there. As far as I know, this did not burn. And there's a beautiful trail that goes to Lake Agnes, intermediate terrain, spectacular area on the north side of the Never Summer Mountains, about an hour and a half west of Fort Collins. So rent a yurt, rent a cabin, check it out. Next one. Rabbit Ears Pass. Steamboat, as you know, has some of the best snow every winter, and Rabbit Ears Pass is a backcountry skier's paradise. We have at least a half a dozen trails in the book, no avalanche danger on any of them. You can use any kind of ski, skinny ski, AT, telemark, depending on what you want to explore when you're there. And, you know, go over there, stay in Steamboat, and have a blast. And the nice thing is, unlike the downhill area where you'll pay $150 for a ticket, it's free. Next one, next slide. Kenosha Pass. So, you know, if you want to go south from Denver on Highway 285 and ski on part of the Colorado Trail, Kenosha Pass is a great place to do it. Intermediate ski skills. You can either go, you can go in either direction, east or west. It has become real popular though. So after a fresh snowstorm, you have to get there and beat the snowshoers to the slopes if you want to get on track powder. If you want them to break trail there for you, they'll be happy to do it. And I also have some trails in my book in Como, which is a little bit farther south of Kenosha Pass. So not very difficult to get to from Denver on Highway 285. Okay, next one. Boreas Pass is right there as well. And you can ski a couple of miles of it without avalanche danger at all. And there's also some great trails that go off of the Boreas Pass road that are in the book called the Gold Dust Trails. So there is a hut. If you start over on the Como side, you can go all the way to Breckenridge and stay in a hut that's about halfway over and have a lot of fun and do either a car shuttle or an out and back. Next one. The Crags route, if you're down there in Colorado Springs, you want to go to the west side of Pikes Peak. This is a Colorado Mountain Club outing, and it's a really pretty area, no avalanche danger, spectacular rock formations. And you'll also be near Mueller State Park. There's a bunch of really nice beginner and intermediate trails in the book from there as well. Next one. Okay, a lot of people don't think of Leadville as a great resort to visit in the winter. I do. It's better than Aspen because it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot closer. Just go above Copper Mountain. We have a lot of good routes in the book. Twin Lakes, gentle, flat terrain. I was over there hiking this summer. It's a great place to ski in the winter. You have spectacular views of 13,000 and 14,000 foot mountains. And you can go up on Tennessee Pass, go up to a hut. There are multiple Colorado Mountain Club huts, not Mountain Club, excuse me, the 9th Mountain Division huts. So you can stay in a hut if you're an advanced skier. If not, go explore the relatively easy trails that are in our book. And the Taylor Hill is a more advanced outing, and there's a hut right next to it, which is also over by Ski Cooper. So Leadville's a great place to go in the winter. Next one. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's just a tiny fraction of the 95 trails we have in the book. And as I said, we have 25 beginner easy trails, 35 intermediate, and over 20 advanced ones. So I think we can keep you busy for a long time. And we have information about equipment in the front of the book, as well as avalanche awareness kind of information. So I hope you'll get out there, be safe, and have fun this winter. And we'll be doing another online clinic on route finding first week of December, I believe December 7th. So if you want a winter route finding Zoom, we'll do that for you in December. So thanks very much for dialing up. And if we have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I'll look in the chat, or I think Jeff's going to unmute you folks. So if you want to ask anything. I was on mute for Second Creek. So what I was saying there was you can go up to the hut and back without any avalanche danger. Broom hut. Second Creek is generally not hazardous, but above the hut, it is hazardous.
I did just real quick, Alan. I did allow people. You can now unmute yourself if you want to ask a question, or you can also use the chat.
Okay, someone asked, are snowmobiles allowed in any of the routes? 99% of them, no. There's only a couple where you might encounter a snowmobile. I try to avoid trails where there are snowmobiles. Any other questions? One thing I find with snowmobiles, I don't like them either. But you know, if it's a big snowstorm, 2 or 3 feet, having a snowmobile go up ahead of you can come in pretty handy. So, if you know, I can be lazy too. I guess we don't have any questions. So thanks again to everybody for turning up. Please do vote and have fun.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, here's a question about Devil's Thumb. Devil's Thumb has some nice expert advanced downhill options for cross-country skiers. It's not a downhill area at all. It's all Nordic, but of course Winter Park is right there. But the Devil's Thumb ski area, Devil's Thumb Nordic ski area has some really fun, hilly, advanced terrain, as well as flat terrain. And we have both in the book.
And you didn't have any from the southern Colorado parts.
Southern Colorado?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do have Colorado Springs.
Yeah, like Monarch and around, you know, Two Dogs Lake and.
Well, as far as south as I go is, you know, I go south of Leadville and over to, you know, south of Kenosha Pass, down around Como and Fairplay. That's as far south as I go there. And then over in the Colorado Springs area. So nothing south of that.
Yeah.
Rainbow Lakes Road is a great place for beginners to ski. Excellent place to go for easy skiing for beginners on skinny skis.
Thank you.
Yep. But I was talking to someone from the Mountain Club from Colorado Springs, and when I told him I had some things on the west side of Pikes Peak and then over there by Fairplay and Como, he was pretty excited because he said it didn't take him that long to get over there, to get to Leadville. And there are
Yeah,
tons of-
those are good areas
Yeah.
to, yeah.
Yep.
Water Dog Lakes and Two Dog Lakes that are avalanche, and it's intermediate to easy, but there is an avalanche area there.
Oh, okay. What's it called?
Two Dog Lakes and Water Dog Lake, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just on,
Those.
yeah.
I'll check them out. The guidebook does have how to get a hold of 10th Mountain Division huts and the websites. Basically, it's very difficult to get them at this time of the year unless you can go during the week. They usually get booked up by the summertime. But if you're willing to go during the week and you're very flexible, go on the 10th Mountain Division website, and you should be able to find some places that are open sometime during the winter.
Yeah, those are good areas. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that wraps it up. So thanks again to everybody. And as I said, check out our Facebook page. That will be called Ski Touring Routes Colorado's Front Range. We'll do some blogging and we'll try to let everybody know the status of some of the trails that might have gotten burned. But you get, 3 or 4 feet of snow on top of these trails should cure almost anything.
But Alan,
Yeah.
to that end, are those more dangerous avalanche-wise? Do you perceive?
Which ones?
Where the new places that have been burned?
No, I
Will,
wouldn't-
you know,
I
that a
wouldn't
book
think
might
so.
say, oh, it's pretty safe.
Yeah,
Does the
well,
fire in
I wouldn't-
itself increase avalanches?
Now, I think the Forest Service is probably going to do a real good job if there was tree hazards. I think the main hazard might be trees across the trail, or potentially trees falling on people, more so than avalanches. And every trail has an avalanche evaluation in it in my book, and the CAIC, Colorado Avalanche Information Center, gives you avalanche information for every area in the state.
Right.
If in doubt, you want to go to Rocky Park or someplace else, we do have contact information for which part of the Forest Service you should contact if you want more local information about the latest status on trails.
Thanks so much.
Yep. Okay, I guess we'll sign off now, but thanks again to everybody. And thank you to anybody who's buying a book or planning to buy a book.
Cheers.
Have a good evening.
Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Kay.
Take care.
To the question about the video being available online, yeah, I did record it, and I'll be posting this either tomorrow or early next week. It will be available online.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, everybody.